Yeah!
Barrage inbound. Take cover.
Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got Polish Circle, the 20th Tank Division, played by SEBA, and he's going up against Fatkid, playing 39Y. Must be a Halo fan. I love that minigame. So 39Y, man, I do not sound good today. 39Y is a div we don't really see a lot. I've been talking a lot about this to somebody who is very good at 39Y. And they say that it's a pretty good div still. And yeah, I mean, I trust them. They're better than me at the game. So, so it must still be a pretty good div, but you don't see it a lot. There's a perception that it's not good. It's certainly very difficult to play well, mainly because your infantry isn't that great, so you rely upon long-range fire support, and that long-range fire support can't see anything and then dies. So you got to be really good with your recon game. You got to be very good with your recon game. You got to use these BRM1s effectively because it's got exceptional optics and smoke and 3 armor. So you sort of run that in front of the other stuff and then use the smoke to keep it alive, and then it spots things. But if it uses the smoke, it loses its vision. Yeah. So it's a tough div to play properly. Polish 20th, generally regarded as the stronger Polish div, but when we hosted that Northag tournament, which you can view, right, we did a Northag tournament where you could only play every div once in the tournament. The Polish Square got the highest win rate. But generally, Polish Circle is seen as the better div. Polish Square is better in urban environments because it gets loads of coffin launchers. But Polish Circle gets enough coffin launchers. I still think it's better, but maybe it was just the maps we were playing on. Anyway, so looking at the deployments, we got SEBA here. He's on the good side. It's the good side because you can rush into Olga and Emma quite effectively, whereas Blue, certainly on Olga, would not have the upper hand. Or in Emma, really. But he's not gone for that this time. He's just going to be trying his best to defend Emma. To be honest, it's a bit of a slow burner of a div, the Polish one, because you got to build up the T-72s. But then again, so is 39Y. So the Polish div would be better in like the mid game, and 39Y would be better in the end game. So we got two BMP1s or BWP1s, so they don't have the smoke, right? And they're just coming over here just to scout. I mean, you don't really need two there. I think that's a bit of a waste. But if you sent one up there and it died, then you would need a one back here, so maybe it makes sense. BWP1 Maryukas, which he's bringing at 2 vet by default, which is interesting, gives it 60% accuracy, but you don't get as many of them. So yeah, with the Maryuka there, you definitely don't need 2 of these, unless you're intending to attack Olga. And then a Strozala going to the right, so I don't know if I guess he passed it on the wrong road or something. BMP1 CV, BWP1, it's not got the smoke, going to sign there, and then yeah, the Maryuka's going forwards over here. We've got a Rozb Specjalny. I mean, so basically Polish people keep desperately trying to explain to me how to pronounce their language. But like all good British citizens, I remain incredibly ignorant. And so, yeah, these guys, it's only got recon forward deployment, but it's got the special forces trait, which means it goes at 120, not 100. Whereas these guys only have recon forward deployment, but they don't have the special forces trait, so they're only going at 100. So these guys are going to get there first. So this one going to here, you know, you could try and get it to here, but you've always got to be careful when playing against 39Y, which is what my advisor told me when I was asking them about 39Y values. They said one of the reasons 39Y is so good is because sometimes you can do a mass helo opener, so AA helo, recon helo, SU-25, SU-27, right? Something like that. Or you could do a proper mech opener, or you could do like a wheeled opener like this one is, or you could do like a mix. And so even though 39Y is seen as quite weak in the early game, you can throw a lot of divisions off balance by deploying in that way. But given that there's now, what, 39 divisions in the game, that means there's 39 squared possible matchups. which is like, what, 3,000 or something? I've not got my, I guess it's calculated time. Oh, it's 1,521, so that, my math's clearly not that great. Anyway, so he's got loads of honkers going to the town. They're only 4-man squads, but they, they will be getting there before these guys do. Having said that, he's not actually covering the edge of the town. So if they're coming down this road, they will probably still get in. Well, if they get to there, they'll get shot. That's going to be interesting. Recon Helo, these things, you can get one with an autocannon, and I don't know if the circle gets it, but it's very worth it, the one with the autocannon. I've had serious problems with dealing with those. The gun on the autocannon one, it might just be a square one, a square division item instead of a circle division item. It's better than a Yak B. The Yak B is really bad gun. Anyway, I've also been informed that this is just pronounced Strela. Or is it Shilka? It's not Strazala, it's just Strela. I'm just going to keep saying it wrong. Sorry, Polish bros. And then a T-72M. And a CV for Anna Emma. Switching to his opponents. I'm wondering if he bought a plane or something. Although, these units aren't cheap. That's 70, and yeah, he might not have, and this isn't cheap. I don't know, we'll see. Switching to his opponent's deployment. We got Fatkid here playing as 39Y. So BRM1 coming all the way down here. I'd be surprised if it got that far, but if it does, that'd be cool. And then so he is bringing a Recon Helo. He's actually got 2 of these. So I thought these were only 1 per card. It must be 2 if he's done that. Yeah, so MI-24K. So basically, this will be very effective against the forward deployment. This gun especially is pretty good if you can get it into range, which isn't easy to do, but if it does get into range, it is very effective. The only problem is I believe it's not on a turret. No, it's gun pods. So it can take longer to aim, as long as the rockets, basically. So, yeah, 2 Saperi Razvedka, which may or may not get in, we'll see. And then he's sending the transports forwards to there. That's interesting. I mean, typically you don't want the transports in here because the enemy inf might kill you, but if he gets these, then he will be able to. And behind, Razvedka BMP 1P, so I was hoping to see this go into here, because you want to use that that diversification machine. I mean, keep in mind, it's 17 AP, right? So yeah, you could put it here, and then you could be shooting the reinforcements as they come in, whereas the transport is not going to be really useful here, unless you kill all that infantry at the start with the helicopter, which is clearly what he's going for. Then some supply, that's good to see. Igla, Pulmachiki, command. Oh, he's gone for 2 commands on this side. So he's actually got 3 commands. So honestly, I can understand it. Because this is a rush that is probably not going to last long term. Red should be able to push him out. Although given his deployment, maybe not, right? Because like the T-72M should be able to get around to here and cut the reinforcements. The Strazala to compensate, and then the Malyutka should be able to get to here and do the same on this side. So yeah, you'd expect to get pushed out, basically. Blue, of course, on the weaker side, and so you need to get those points out of this. You need to get something out of this, so I can understand why he's done it. So yeah, Igla's CV, BMP 1PG. So this has got a grenade launcher, which are all the rage these days. They got a lot better, and there was like full disclosure, I was still saying they were bad for a part of the time when they had become good. And so people just call me a disinformation specialist, but, come on. It takes time for people to update. If something's been bad for 2 years or whatever, that's enough coping. Anyway, it loses its grenade launcher it loses its smoke for the grenade launcher, so I don't like it. I prefer having the smoke, but the grenade launcher is good. And yeah, more on that, and then a CV for Leonid. So, okay, let's cast the game, and we shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joinering the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. I'm going to be unemployed soon, and there's the plane. I thought I must have had one. So this is going to get very weird for Fatkid. If you don't want to do that, please just like the video. Right, it's free. And this we call it a shotgun fighter because it shoots both its missiles at once, makes it very effective against helicopters. And yeah, that just died straight away. I was going to say it's quite lucky that it survived the plane, but then the honkers just killed it. So this rush is really probably not working out at all now. And yeah, that is the weakness of the helo opener, and that's why you've got to... What the heck? What is that? Oh, I left RuneScape open. My bad. To apologise. So... yeah, this. I mean, he needs to sort of update his expectations here. Like, he's still going in into what? Oh no, this ain't good at all. I mean, once those forward deployed units died, he should have stopped everybody and put them over here and realized, oh man, that's not working out. But instead, he's just sort of going for it, and for some reason, it's working. So the Iglas, they took out that helo. Like, these guys should have all been moved to the front line. Having said that, the BMP-1Ps are happy to oblige them and just sort of run into them. And he's not unloading them. Oh dear. Yeah, it's okay. So now he's reinforced with some MI8s, but the MiG-21 should still be up. It's not being microed. Like, it should be killing this. The Strozala should be coming around here as well. It is now. I mean, he's getting there. A lot of this has to do with the fact that SEBA's purchases were like a second AA plane, which is now not doing anything. And this is why you got to spread out. One missile hit both of these and put them all on low cohesion. Like, he needs to be landing or going low altitudes or running away. You don't want to just sit there and get eaten. And so he's got vision on this, so he could check the line of sight and been like, yeah, okay, so I need to not get shot. Oh wow, it went on the motor strokey, and he has updated his orders now, so he might get in here. I mean, I don't think he will though. I mean, this thing's really slow. Yeah, that went about as well as you might expect. So that went terribly, man. So when you do the helo open with 39Y, you have to buy a fighter because the enemy can always take out your helos with very cheap planes like this, which is exactly what just happened. And now he's in the town, but everybody's dead. And I think, like, if Sebo's a bit clued in here, that, you know, this should be walking forward, and he should be counter pushing basically as soon as possible. Because he's just killed so much, and that sort of internal tally is something that you get as you play the game more. You start to realize that I've just killed loads and loads and loads of units. He's probably not got that much here, and then you try and counter push, but yeah, I mean, I talk about this a lot. Like, the Pulmachiki, like, they're out of AT, they're just dead. I mean, even if you because you can't get them all the way back because this will shoot you. So yeah, that's probably not a right answer of what to do there. I'm not sure why he's putting a cub there. But we'll see how it goes for him. So basically, let's say you... Oh yeah, they've only got 8 HP, I remember now. Let's say you wipe, and this deals 9 damage, right? Let's say you wipe the whole enemy force. Let's say you start the whole sentence 4 times, and you just never finish the sentence. And let's say you have 500 points left, or 250 points left, and he has 0. Okay, and let's say you get 250 a minute. I know it's 260, but let's say you get 250 a minute. Within So in the first minute, right, you have infinite times more points than him because he has 0 and you have 250. But obviously it's a bit of a silly one. After a minute passes, you have 500 and he has 250. So now you have twice as much as him. After 3 minutes, you have 750 and he has 500. Now you've got 1.5 times as much as him. Right? After 10 minutes, you've got, what, 2,750 and he's got 2,500. So your comparative disadvantage, your absolute difference in points remains the same, but your comparative distance, right? Your percentage difference gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and so that if you do a big wipe on the enemy, you've got to take advantage as quickly as possible. Like, he's got enough here to take this zone, but if he keeps waiting, more and more is showing up every second. I do like that he brings the commentator. We'll talk about that in a minute. And, you know, once this T80B gets here, then he's not getting in, right? Whereas if he attacked with what he had here, he'd be in, right? This would, or you know, this would be killing that. But instead, he's just sitting there, and he just got a big wipe. He needed to counter push, and now the longer he waits, the more is showing up, right? He had like 3 Saperzi, and there was nothing here. Now he's got 6 Saperzi, and there's all this here. And it's easier to defend than it is to attack. So you've got to take advantage of your wins, right? You got to take advantage, right? And so something like this should have repaired this a long time ago, and he really should have, once he'd killed them all, tried to take this, tried to take this, tried to take this. You know, like this could have come up here ages ago. We spoke about that. Because when you're trying to take a point, like this point, for example, you don't just, like, you can just run at it, but you're going to get shot at. If the enemy's a good player, he's going to shoot you in your sides. So you've got to take the sides and then try and shoot your enemy in the sides. Over here, you know, this was a nice idea, but that's not working. And one wonders why there's all this here. I guess he probably assumed that somebody would attack him here. It's sort of the same situation here, really. SEBA could have taken this, but he doesn't know what's there. I suppose these would be moved around, right? Okay, so he didn't repair it and then it got blown up. So yeah, credit to Fatkid, like he's maintained his defense. We were talking about this. So this is a military police vehicle. It's one of the very few in the game. And so what you do is you turn off auto cell on it, which he's done actually. I don't know if he's got it off by default. We'll have to find a unit he's just bought. There we go. No, he has turned it off, so that's good for him. And then you click it, Shift F, and click on your tank, and then it will follow your tank around and give it the military police buff, which makes its cohesion come back a lot faster. It's actually pretty significant how much of a difference it makes. So I really like the Commandatura. I think it's basically the best military police card in the game. So these MiG-21s do die in one hit to a Cub, and eventually that's going to hit him. There you go. I mean, that was 4 shots to get the hit, but he did get it. And, you know, pretty gnarly AA range, 5,300 meters. As you can see, it basically covers the whole width of the playable area of the map, right? Yeah, it does. It does more than that, because you see the edges of the circle over here. So yeah, it's pretty effective piece of kit. And it's 4 per card. Yeah, so once those get set up, but I mean the poles get them as well. Here's one. It's doing the same thing. I wouldn't say air is too weak. Basically, you've got to use all your air at once. But frankly, if you've only got MiG-21s, it's just not worth running at Cubs because you can't survive a hit, whereas a 10 HP plane can survive a hit. Unless you get a 0.5% crit chance, which gets you, which I have seen happen before. So yeah, he's still trying to get in over here. I mean, it's just not going to work, right? Because there's no AA. So they're going to die momentarily as soon as this gets a bead on them. I suppose he could buy a plane for it, but by the time it gets there, and then there's all these Cubs here, and then they settle in. So this is something you see a lot with sort of somewhat lower level games. I wouldn't say that these are low level players. I think their deployments were good. I think the way they played was good. But you do see this kind of burst of action at the start, and then things just slow right down. And it's because neither player is willing to do several things at once, right? But I really do feel that SEBA had a big opportunity there after he rinsed that whole opener. And this is exactly what I was just explaining to you. Look at the map now. You can't tell who won that first fight anymore. There's loads of blue and there's loads of red. So even though red still has a KD advantage, you don't really... It's harder and harder to notice it. So yeah, now we wait. Oh, it's going over here. Okay. For somebody to buy some arty, I guess. Yeah, so here you go. Acacia with a CV for it. And CV seems to be going for the Cub, which you can do. But yeah, I think that this map, Two Lakes, definitely lends itself to this kind of play style as well, where just it's very difficult to attack a town in this game, and especially since the deforestation, right? Because there used to be trees coming all the way up here, and there used to be trees coming up all the way here, or at least it came to here. I can't remember if there was... I can't remember if this went all the way up, but either way, the idea was that it was very easy to move these flanks, and now it's not. But what I would say is that they should still be trying to fight each other. You shouldn't just sit there. You got all these units. If you bought a unit, it's not doing anything. You got to see that as a waste. It should always be fighting, or moving to a position to fight, or repairing from a fight. You want to constantly use your units. There's no better way of describing this than tanks. If you've got a tank, it should be going forwards to spot ATGM positions and shoot them with a repair near it. Oh, he's done the military police thing, so that's cool. So this will just have that with it all game, as you can see on that tooltip. He's being buffed there. So yeah, so you send it forwards, you spot an ATGM position. Either you can shoot it because you've got a BRM1 with it that spots it, or you pull back and use your Acacia to shoot it. Looks like he's already got some targets here anyway. Yeah, munitions vehicle goes down. I'm not sure when that Igla died. So yeah, you want to be using it, but it's hard to micro everything at once. It's just a practice thing. The more you play this game, like, this is something else that people really need to understand. I'm not better than you because I'm better at this game, right? I'm not better at this game because I'm better than you. It's not true. The reason I'm better at this game is because I've got 2,000 hours in this game. And what happens is, over time, like with any skill, like with playing the guitar, if you've tried to learn that, or anything, literally anything, writing a PhD thesis, the more you play, the more you practice, the more conscious actions become subconscious actions. And so you don't have to think about things so much. And that frees up your mind to do other stuff, like talk while you play, or move more stuff, right? Because a lot of the actions are automatic, such as if you click up here, click your unit, click Y, and then click here, it will unload once it gets to that position, as opposed to just sitting there. So these are the Polish solution to the Acacia. It's very, very good. The only weird part is there's a bug where even though it's wheeled, it's got a tracked speed, even though it's wheeled, like 40-75. 40-75, but you see how, well, I'm pretty sure the HE is the same, and the range is the same. So I'm pretty sure they just accidentally just based it off the Acacia and forgot to change the wheeled thing, right? I mean, you see, like, all the ammo's the same, but what's going on here, right, is that this has an aim time of 19. This has an aim time of 22, even though they're both at 1 vet, right? This has been buffed up by the CV to get to 1 vet. Otherwise it'd be 26, whereas this is 1 vet and it's 19 aim time, 22, and the reload time is less as well, and the salvo length's longer, so it puts more rounds on the same target. That can actually be seen as a detriment depending on what level of play the game is. If you're against a really good player, after the first 2 rounds, he's either died or he's moved his thing anyway. Whereas if you're against a less good player, he'll just sit there and eat all 6 rounds. So trying to counter battery here with the Danners, but my man here, Fatkid, he's moving. The reason I referenced Halo before is because there's this really popular Halo minigame called Fatkid, and basically it's a room, and then there's loads of levels above the room, and like you just walk. There's like one path that goes all the way up. It just walks all the way around, up and up and up in a spiral. And the basically the fat kid starts off on the ground floor, and he's got to slowly try and get to the top and kill the guys. And he's like almost invincible. You can kill him if you can assassinate him, but otherwise he's invincible, which is hitting him in the back melee. But you can't shoot him. But the defenders have regular guns which knock him back. So they've basically got rocket launchers, and in the game the rocket launcher, as well as damaging you, will knock you back. And so the idea is they're constantly trying to knock him back, and he's trying to get to them, and if he kills them they turn into a fast zombie, a thin kid, and they have very little health, but they can just like sprint past him and go for the defenders. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. I used to play it back in the day on Halo 3. I'm positive they probably still play it today. The other one was Ice Cream Man, which was all of the people are the fat kids, and they're trying to get from one end of the street to the other to get the ice cream, and the ice cream man is in a big car, and he's just trying to run them all over. And like. And if you get run over, either you die or you go back to the start. Or I think actually it's the case that like he can't kill him so easily, so he just runs them to push him back. There's loads of different modes, right? Anybody could make their own. Anyway, something's happening here. Been missing it. So oh man, I just missed like the only action in 10 minutes. Oh, I was talking about Halo. Anyway, he walked forwards with some Razvedka stuff and some and like the T80B and everything. I'm pretty sure the T80B was with it, and it all died. So that's 101 commentary. I was too busy reminiscing there. That's really sad. Oh man, now nothing's not going to happen for another 10 minutes. Anyway, I was talking about Halo. So. There's loads of custom games like that. So yeah, leaving your Osas out in the open is a good way to get smacked by a Danner. And down they go. And SEBA here, he's got a lot of supply here, and he's got 3 Danners, so he will win this artillery duel if they're going to play it like this. This would end in a draw. And what I'd love to see from Fatkid is trying to find some targets, right? He's got them queued up now because of the... And you see how he's queued up his move orders here? He's got 2 Akatsias here. The only problem is, right, so if this... So this is now reloading, and this has already completed its fire order, which means that they'll slowly get more and more out of sync. And what that means is, 1, if you're trying to get a tank, it'll move out of the way, and 2, if the guy tries to counter battery the first Akatsia, and the second one slowly gets over there, it will get hit. So it's something to keep in mind. You can also do, like, advanced tactics where... He's actually done this here. So you queue up the order and you shoot, right? And you see that when it tries to shoot, it will turn to face whichever way it's shooting. And then your shift queue, you'd have to do a reverse in this case. You hold shift, G, and then back. And then when it repositions, it doesn't have to turn its whole chassis to go whichever way it's going. It would just reverse. And you could also path it forwards. So there's something, if you ever see me playing, you'll see me starting to do that a lot, something I've been working on. Simply because I was playing 10v10, and those 56Y cluster mortars can counter battery basically anything in the game because they've got stupidly low aim time, and they're incredibly effective. Which I would like to see changed, but it's not up to me. So... yeah, if you spend time rotating your chassis, you will die. So yeah, occasionally with these you got to stop the volley and wait for this to reload and wait for this to reload. Although they're not actually that far out of sync. Because otherwise, yeah, they get more and more out of sync. Another thing the Poles get is that they all get like 4 grads minimum, which is basically impossible to sustain. But what you can do is upvet them and get 2 1-vet grads and then put CV next to it for 2 vet grads, although you'd have to open FOB or literally bring 4 cards of supply. And you can use that to just rain down hell on those crawlers, as they say. Looks like he's going to path himself into that counter battery there. As you can see, the splash on artillery is basically terrible, so that landed right next to him and just didn't do anything. He's lost a little bit of cohesion there. You hate to see it. I wish arty splash was a lot wider, especially on the suppression, and it would make artillery less of a gamble. So something happened there as well, and oh man, I missed it. First death in like a minute. How did that even happen? What? It must have been the arty. And yeah, both players are building up, building up, building up, but the longer you build up, the longer your enemy's building up. And so this cuts both ways, right? So, yeah, more helicopters, more infantry, like it's all stacked up here. I assume the eventual plan is to rush this town. Or in his opponent's case, SEBA's case is probably to rush Leonid. But both players quite content to just sit there and work on their, work on their armies. So more being purchased here, and yeah, you can put the HONKERS in the church. Basically, religious people can see further than atheists. So this commander here, he has not embraced religion, and so he can't see very far. Whereas this HONKERS has, and look how far it can see by comparison. Oh my god, smoke! Oh wow, that's an interesting strategy. So he's gonna try and smoke his way all the way into that zone. We'll see how long it lasts. If SEBA's paying attention, all he has to do here is hit that with one of his Danners and hit that with one of its Danners, and because they've only got 2 HP, they'll pop like candy. So what you've got to do when you're using packed self-propelled mortars is literally load them up after every smoke and move them and unload them, and it's very, very difficult to do. It just takes so much effort. But I think what he's actually doing is trying to divert his enemy's attention, because all his troops are over here. So, nice big conga line coming in there. I think it's been spotted. At least some of it has. And really, those Akatsuya should be going... There we go. I was going to say straight away you should be going on that. What you can do, right, is... So you don't know within this building block which house he's in. And as we spoke about, rounds need to land right on target. There you go, he is going for the Mars. Rounds need to land right on target to spot him. And so what you do is you use the LOS tool and you just snap it to the building, and you see how it puts the center of the tool exactly on where that guy is. And then you can put the center of your circle on that specific house. Now you see he's missed it by a little bit and it survived. So that's a case of it probably would have worked if he'd put it in the right place. Anyway, one big problem you've got when you just sort of move like this is that the vehicles start going first. And one big problem SEBA's got is that he's got no AT in this whole block. So these are just going to kill all this. The Scott 2As have comparable arms, and if these are just moving and these aren't, the Scots will win. But yeah, it's working. I mean, wouldn't it have been better to maybe smoke here? With one of your mortars so you could get over. I mean, the element of surprise thing was very cool. He's managed to draw 2 enemy helicopters off over there. But all SEBA has to do is sort of wake up and bring them back. So, at least something's happening, though. We don't have to keep talking about Halo. These are going to get side-shot by those T-72s, and that is rough, man. That shouldn't be happening. if only he'd smoked here, perhaps. That would have been good. And you see these are amphibious, so they're actually going over the water. Would love to see SEBA maybe move some of these helicopters over, but he's been taken by the smoke. And Fatkid finally forgot to move his Acacias, and now he's getting smacked. Although they survived anyway. He's got to keep moving them. Yeah, so this, you just click it, hold shift, F, click an Acacia, it'll just follow the Acacia around, same as that military police. But yeah, it looks like he's sort of breaking through here, through sheer force of will. This is proper Soviet tactics, this. Reminds me of my Viktor Suvorov book. It says something like, if a Soviet tank commander loses a tank battalion, it's a court-martial, but if he loses infantry, it's not proper. and yeah, so he's getting there somehow. I mean, his cub died, right? Oh, mate, that's not great. His micro's a bit off. Like, half his guys are going under the water. He should really be trying to get away from this MI2 as fast as humanly possible, because the play... He just immediately... Is he a bot or something? Like, what? As soon as it died, he put one on exactly the same place. Anyway, you see the power of the cub at suppressing on missing. Basically, 2 cubs will evac any plane at 1 vet. And these Acacias are somehow still alive. And as you can see, it was evac'd by 2 cub hits, or 2 cub misses even. So... yeah, I mean, he's getting there. It's working, but his opponent has a lot of time to react to this. I don't know, he's like forgotten about half his units. He's just got to bring these 2 over, just put them here. There's no AA left in this. He's got this one. I mean, like, meanwhile, Fatkid could be applying pressure on the front, so you get just send these forwards, they start getting shot. You use all these tanks and start laying on the pain. You know, his opponent doesn't have any HONKERS. That's actually probably worth noting. There's only HONKERS on the BMP2, so these infantry ATGMs will always be bundles of sticks. But yeah, I mean, SEBA, he's just buying more supply. Like, he's got 4 supply healers here. He doesn't really need that, and he's like, he's got more here. He could just he could load that back up, put it in here, bring it over here, but he's not doing it. So even though he's got a lot of time to react to this sort of great migration, he's not doing a good job of reacting to it. In the meantime, Fatkid's trying to attack over here. The Acacias are healing up. But yeah, he's got a lot of units of his own that aren't doing anything. Like, he should, now that all the units are coming over here, he should be applying pressure on the front. But he's not. But hey, at least something's happening. I mean, I like this sort of great migration. I think it's very funny. But yeah, like, SEBA really should have put some units here, and then this is what I was going to talk about. You've got to be careful about... So if you tell a unit to go here, it will always use this dumb road. So you've got to manually tell him to... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to tell him to path back here somewhere. Because, yeah, if you go for this, it will always go on that road. I've seen that happen loads of times. So that's just another one of those things where if you played the game more, it's really the only way to know. It's also worth noting that at the moment, 12 AP rockets, such as the Komar, are bugged and will one-shot a 2-armor vehicle. Or if they hit 2 armor, they'll one-shot it, even though they shouldn't. These don't have any 2 armor parts to them, but the BMPs did. So this has AP, so you'd expect it to start laying on the pain. I mean, he's only got 4 rockets, even though he should have 6. Although it's a sapper group, so I don't know, maybe they've only got 4 for reasons. But yeah, if you get side shot, it's going to one-shot you, so you got to turn. The grenade launchers are probably going to... Oh, okay, I mean... Eventually this will run out, though. And, yeah, there's just a lot of things just not happening. Like, nothing's happening here. Okay. Plane's up. He's probably going for those helicopters. This helicopter singular. This is... Ooh, he needs to wake up. He knows it's there because it's shooting at him. He's just got to set... There we go. Does this have smoke? It does not. He's gonna get in, but there's a T-72 there. So there you go. You got a +2, but I mean you need 500 points to do the W, right? MiG-21 eats a cub and immediately explodes. And one wonders, you know, you got these Akatsias, why didn't he just smoke this? Then he could have got that in. Now he's revealing himself for a little bit, so these T-72s are going to shoot him all, whereas if he came out from here, you have a little bit of a better look. This is one of the attacks of all time. More planes purchased to try and get that Mi-24. I mean, you know, SEBA, he could be moving these Strazalas over here because he knows that. I'm pretty sure that just got critted and died in one hit. As we were talking about at the start of the video, there's some continuity for you. Right, everybody's dead. Big sad. Took a long time to build that army up. There's only 9 minutes left. I assume this is going to be a draw. Can't really see things changing. I mean, it's just a big shame because he's got all these units and he's just not using them, right? These tanks really could have done it, like, done a number on all these frontline units here, and then he probably could have walked in, sent less this way, just used it as a distraction. Certainly served its purpose to do that. And for SEBA's part, he's just like in no hurry to try and do anything. I mean, he's got all this stuff. Could have taken Leonid at some point. Anyway, this just got side shot. Okay, so he's trying to get it behind the building so the T-72s can't shoot. He popped the smoke there so that he doesn't get shot by the Saperzi again, which is now out of ammo. Lots happening. T-80B gets in. The T-72's still here. And I guess he's just going to hide it behind this building so AT planes can't easily kill him. But I think he'd be better off popping his smoke again. Although I don't think the enemy can see him. So, +2 for Fatkid. Just all this stuff. All this stuff. All he has to do is just right-click over there. He's starting to wake up to the possibility of the idea of doing that. Yeah, I mean, it's something. So, T-80BK should have got its smoke back, because that's like the first thing you get back. There you go, so he's trying to smoke now, but he got stunned up first. And now he's moving because there's a fire under him, and now he's dead. So, 7 minutes left. I mean, if Red just got all this, the same thing has happened that happened in the first couple of minutes. He's now got a massive point advantage over his opponent. Look at all the stuff. All he's got to do is select all this and right-click over here, he'd get in. Use those AT planes to kill these. But I don't know if he wants to. I mean, he just really wants a draw. Really, he's a draw enthusiast. Just really wants a draw. You know, just one of those things, I suppose. So yeah, I guess it's okay. No, he's doing it. It's happening. It's happening. The great counterattack, and the tanks are a bit far behind. He's forgotten half of them. These helos are still over here. He's not brought half his stuff, but the AT planes are coming in for the T-80BVs, which is nice. And yeah, I mean, 6 minutes to get 500 points. The AT plane gets hit by the HONKERS, so good micro or otherwise there. I don't know if it's just automatic, but he went for the important one. Obviously, the rocket planes aren't going to be killing the T-80BVs, though they did rout them. Because he's just Q-clicked, the vehicles are going first, so the AA is in front, and the AA is all dead now. So you'd be expecting to see some 39Y helicopters, which he did have 2 of. I think they came over here and died in this great attempt. But something is happening. Something is happening. He's forgotten half his tanks. His guns, some of his guns are firing. One of his guns are firing. He's not brought any of his recon. He has brought a helicopter. Nothing happening over here. All this stuff. Like, Blue could literally just click this and click over here. He'd be in there. The Akatsias finally get counter-batteried. Pretty sure there were 2 there before. Now there's only 1. Fatkid doing a good job at keeping the T-80s alive, like he's reversing and stuff, which is good. The Igloo will eventually clean up this helicopter. Might take it a while, but it'll get there. And more AT planes going for the T-80s. This one's stunned, so it can't smoke. This one shoots a BMP-2. Didn't realise they got so many. He went on the Cub. That's smart. I wonder how he could see it, though. Okay. Fighter comes out, but it's a bit too little too late. Although, you know, this AA, like, it's not resupplied, but things are happening. And honestly, because of how badly... Like, he's not using the buildings. He's not smoking off the fire support. He's on attack move, right? So he's just stopping in the open. So he's taking a lot of extra damage. I got a strange feeling here that after this dies, Blue could probably just counterattack. So yeah, pretty exciting blob warfare here. It's really something. Like, I get it, you know, people struggle to micro, but I mean, come on, it's just such a waste. That T-80 was put on reverse and it showed its side, so it died. The rocket planes are back. They just keep getting hit by the Cubs. You get 4 Cubs in a card. This one's at 3 vet now. It's killed a lot. Got that cheeky 60% accuracy. The other Cub did just get shot by a T-72 though. But imagine if he'd sent the tanks first. I don't know. But yeah, he's realised he's got these 3 tanks here. Dana's still not shooting anything. So many targets. Like, this would be a great one, obviously, and then all this other stuff. But Reddy's getting closer. I don't. Can Blue hold him off? He's running out of tanks. Although so is his opponent. You know, his tanks, they're getting suppressed. They're dying. The HONKERS isn't actually being resupplied by this because it's slightly too far away. But yeah, SEBA's infantry is running out. He's just making absolutely no attempt to keep it alive. Not cycling back the low units, not putting them in buildings. They're all just dying. 3 minutes left. Ebbing battle currently taking place. He is starting to relocate troops from the other side. You do like to see it. Imagine if these helicopters had come in. These AT planes, though, they just don't stop. And another T-80BV goes down there. The HONKERS did get its ammo back. Got a T-72 and then died. But now these BMP-2s are coming down here, and they'll get some side shots on these tanks. SEBA's just not been spending his points, so now he buys a bunch more infantry. But his attack's spent, and one wonders if Blue is going to counterattack, or if he wants to draw. Like, that was a lot of kills. I wish there were graphs which showed you how many kills happen in an amount of time. The AT plane gets another BMP-2. I guess he couldn't see the T-80BV. I mean, that Dana should just be going on that Cub. He's got so many Danas. And during the attack, Red wasn't spending his points, but now he's got plenty to reinforce his main zone. It actually looks like he's just coming out here. Will the RKH... Will he try to get in that zone? He is trying. He's using fast path and it's taking him the wrong way. But he is trying. The Katsia is shooting. The T-72 here is going to be a problem for that CV, although the T-80 could be sent to kill it. Danas have woken up. I think one of them's just on automatic counter battery, you know. Maybe they all are. No, only one of them. CV's coming in. He's got 2. Is he going for it? He is going for it. These guys, they do have AT, but he's just walking them across the open field again. 1 minute left on the clock. I don't think it's enough to get 500 points. I don't think it's enough. I think he'd have to kill this. Interesting to see what happens with this, because it's going to get side shot. He's shooting at the infantry instead of the big scary tank. And the enemy tank is shooting at the infantry. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, they got each other. They got each other. I guess it was a recon thing. They probably couldn't see each other with that first shot. So he's getting in there. There is still a CV here. 44 seconds left. Oh, man. These guys need to watch my guide on how to attack. This absolutely wild attacks coming in here. And yeah, so he gets the tick at the end. I think you need 500 points for W. And with 20 seconds left, I don't think he's getting that on a +1. So I guess Fatkid gets the moral victory, if you want to call it that. He tried to do some attacks, right? His opponent also tried to do some attacks, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I did say if he just selects it all and he clicks over there, he'll win. And then he did do that, and he did lose. So, wait, oh, it was a win. I thought it was... What? I thought it was a 500-point difference. No, I'm an idiot. It's a 100-point difference because it's 10%. It's 5% of 2,000, which is 100. So yeah, big W there for Fatkid. And I suppose I was wrong in that I said if he just selects it all and clicks over there, he'll win. I mean, that was like an exaggeration. I assumed that he would like put the units in buildings, use his RT, use his tanks. But yeah, I suppose I'm just gonna get called a liar. So Fatkid's rank 521, and SEBA rank a lot less, but has more games. So that it's like twice as many games. So there you go. You got to watch those hippie YouTube videos. What a strange game. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. And yeah, I'll see you around. GG.